The Your Party started in July 2025 as an alternative far-left political party in the UK. The party had been hinted at starting since Jeremy Corbyn's expulsion from the Labour Party on the 29th of October 2020, following claims of anti-Semitism within the party ending his leadership, occurring from 2015 to 2020. Corbyn had marketed himself throughout his career as being a hard-left socialist, strongly standing with wealth taxes and high levels of immigration. Jeremy Corbyn during his time in Labour ran in two general elections as the leader of the Labour in 2017 and 2019. In these elections, the general public practiced a two-party system, mainly voting in either the Conservatives and Labour. In 2017, Corbyn ran on a promise of helping the youth by removing tuition fees for university, spending more on the NHS, and promoted a promise of renationalisation of utilities such as water and energy, which appealed to lots of younger voters. Corbyn also succeeded in securing many middle to upper class voters in diverse, useful cities such as London, Birmingham and Newcastle, winning a landslide majority. Whilst appearing popular and a growing candidate campaigning on change in a youth-driven socialist country, he would win his largest share of the vote in 2017, gaining 40% of the vote share and winning 262 seats, a gain in 30 to the last government. In 2019, however, many saw Corbyn as being the talk of the past, and he lost 60 seats, only winning 202, giving the Conservatives a clear landslide majority in government and a clear majority. Well done, mate. After Corbyn's embarrassing defeat in 2019, he opted to exit the party, and in 2020 was expelled after claims of anti-Semitism. After this, he hinted for a while at the potential of him starting a new party. From 2020 to 2024, Corbyn did involve himself with other collections and other shenanigans, running as an independent MP for his constituency in Islington, and in 2022 became part of a Stop the War coalition before the inevitable Russia invasion of Ukraine. In 2024, Corbyn won a clear seat majority in his constituency, winning with around 24,000 votes, slightly shocking the Labour majority government, who saw the seat as being an easy win. Here's another person, however. In 2024, another MP, Zara Sultana, finally saw the embarrassment coming from the Labour Party and opted, with the help of Corbyn, to set up a new left-wing alternative. This party, however, immediately started with issues as soon as possible. After signing up to the Electoral Commission on the 30th September 2025, the party immediately started facing issues. The main issue first occurred, which was the embarrassing dispute over the paid membership. Obviously, we all remember this. In September, Zara Sultana, early in the morning, finally released a method of paying for the membership, which many had seen as being an inevitable coming because they did set up their website with a mailing list. Initially, all seemed well, and many were excited to support the new party. However, tensions rose quickly when Corbyn announced that the link was not official and the party did not endorse the link, obviously creating a large divide within the group, calling one of the main leaders a liar. Corbyn threatened legal action against the other members, who responded by citing the now notorious phrase, calling your party a sexist boys club, and threatened to form another faction within the party. Not long after things were settled behind the scenes, however, many saw this as an embarrassing lack of communication and showed the lack of professionalism within the party, providing clarity to voters that Zach Palancy's Green Party was just better, which I think most people generally agree with nowadays based on the polls as well. We don't want people who call each other comrades in power. However, now the party has begun its first party conference, dated on the 29th and 30th of November in Liverpool, and also came with much more infighting. Love it. First one of the founders herself, Zara Sultana, boycotted the event, claiming that her and the women in the party had been sidelined. Many supporters, from George Galloway, the man himself, Socialist Party, also went in Liverpool and attempted to join, because the parties, they're both very similar in political ideology. However, they were barred from entering from tenuous claims, basing that they supported someone that many of them didn't. This reflected that whilst the party claimed to be your party and a party for all, in practice this was just as divisive as any other part of the parties they claimed to not be a part of. And whilst they were deemed as being left-wing enough, they did feel like they could pick sides within the party. Less seriously, however, the conference also had many simple failures, like shutting someone's microphone down during a speech, and obviously voting to name your party as their final party, which is very funny. What are the policies, however? based on calling each other comrade within the party, which is a bit extreme in Soviet style. It's a bit strange. Some of the actual pledges have been very vague so far. Obviously, they have just started as a party, so you can't really be too insistent. They're obviously very pro-wealth tax, very pro-immigration, and optimistically, Corbyn said in an interview with Owen Jones, for those of you who don't know who Owen Jones is, he's the left-winger who has a very distinct voice. They kind of want to prevent taxes for those earning under 17,000, and obviously nationalisation of utilities, and probably, you know, free university costs. You know how this goes. And so, you know, in conclusion, they are not looking like a threat to anyone. They are probably not going to split the vote for anyone, however you feel about that.